A lot of work, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Thought maybe you might want to make a video on that.
Yeah.
And yeah, like your content, like your videos, and we'll be following you further.
Like my content, like my videos. Thank you, Tyson. Right on, man. I wish I knew where you were from, what the precinct you're working at. Stay safe. Be careful. Do a video on the promotion process. I don't want to put you guys to sleep. Oops. Where do I start? Start from the beginning. You start from the beginning, Clint. Promotion process. Where do I start? Now, what would I say? What's the first thing I say? Well, let's talk about the promotion process. Do we like it? Do we like the process? You know, years ago, I don't know, maybe it was back in 2007, 8, something like that. They were just handing out promotions, right? Hey, Constable, you're good. You're corporal today. In a weird way, I like that idea. It didn't happen to me, but in a weird way, I kind of like that idea. They knew you were good enough to be corporal, so they made you corporal. You didn't even have to wait 7 years. But I don't know. Like, what would happen if it was the other way around, right? You're at a place where you hate, where the supervisor doesn't like you, hates you. Well, that's never going to happen for you. And how many times have you ever seen that? How many times have you seen a supervisor not like you or not like somebody else? Lots, right? Happens all the time. And so the best chance you have is going somewhere else. I don't know if I'm making sense. But then I look at the other ways, and I've had some weird corporals over the years when I was a constable. We had a constable ident member that became a corporal GD watch commander. What? Like, come on. Not her fault. Well, it is. She shouldn't have applied for it, but she doesn't know. And I'm not talking about a watch commander that's at a big detachment like Langley, where there's like 16, 20 members. They don't do anything. They do nothing. But if you become a watch commander where there's only 5 constables, you really got to perform. You got to be good. That is you have to be a solid watch commander. You don't have to be a solid watch commander at Langley. They don't do fuck all. Sweet fuck all. Every member knows it. Don't kid yourself. They know it. Don't even pretend, okay? You do nothing. You don't even leave the office. They don't even... I'm going on a rampage right now. The corporals don't leave the office. Staff sergeant doesn't leave the office. Sergeant doesn't leave the office. The only people that leave the office is the constables. So you write this thing for lots of hours to promote to the next level, and ident members are becoming watch commanders. Traffic members are becoming watch commanders. I had a guy in mission, he guarded the Queen? What? Or the Premier or the Prime Minister? Somebody. He became a watch commander. On GD? No, sorry, he became a GD corporal. An ERT member. Promotes the corporal, and all of a sudden they're a corporal on a watch. You're an ERT member. Like, I don't know. What do you know about GD? I shouldn't say this, but and I know he's probably watching. I had members. I remember I had a corporal that used to. I'm going off now. I had a corporal that used to say to me, whenever this corporal boss of mine wanted to give me shit, he would take me to the local coffee shop. He did this about 3 times. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, can't you just have a cup of coffee with me normally? Can't you get... And that's another thing. Can't bosses get to know you? Why don't... I got to know my inspector when I retired. Why didn't the inspector ever go for coffee with me or a lunch? Can't you get to know your guys? There was a guy... There was a sergeant in Duncan. His last name was Stiles, and I liked that guy. He didn't have a good reputation at Campbell River. And that's another thing. Who gives a shit what you hear? What you hear means nothing until they arrive. I liked him. He was a good guy. We went for coffee. That's all you need to do. Get to know your men. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. So this guy, I remember we go to the local coffee shop. We're sucking on a coffee, and I'm like, just tell me what you got an issue with. This is what happened one day. I'm working in Langley. It's either 10 to 7 or 5 to 7. I'm off at 7. There's 20 members sitting around having briefing. They're starting. That watch is starting. They're starting at 7 o'clock. They're taking over our entire watch. I'm at the detachment. I work in Walnut Grove. A call comes in. The dispatcher, says to me, Alpha 1, can you take a... She knows I'm off in 5 minutes. And I kind of flip out. I flip out and I say, I don't know, in front of my corporal, oh, fuck me, or something like that. And my corporal's like, he couldn't believe that I had said that. But I'm saying it because these people, they're right in front of us. They all have radios. The other watch that is starting. Can't they take the call? That's what you do. You take the call. Do you know how many times I have asked other members, I've brought radios into change rooms and said, hey, there's a domestic in. We're off in 10 minutes. Can you go to it? That's what you do. It's called common courtesy. It's courtesy. That's what you do. That watch should have known that they have to take that call because I'm off in 5 minutes. I'm going to go down 200 Street down to, I don't know, Walnut Grove. Like, I'm not going to, my parents just came to town. They caught a ferry over to visit me. And now I'm going to be working an extra 2 hours because that watch is sitting around briefing. I don't give a shit if you're in briefing. You leave briefing and you take that call. You don't make me take it. So he sits me down and goes, Clint, I don't like how you acted there. You said, fuck me or fuck this, and we can't have that. We can't have that. Why am I telling this story? I'm not even probably saying it right. I basically said, I don't care what you like. I don't care what you don't like. I didn't like that they didn't take the call. They should have took the call. No, they shouldn't have, Clint. They hadn't started their shift. And I'm like, you know what, man? Yeah, they did. They're in briefing. You leave briefing. Briefing isn't that important. Sometimes you don't even have briefing. It's not that important. Common courtesy says the right thing to do is for them to take it. And everybody will agree with my logic. And he said to me, that's not true, Clint. That's not true. I was talking to the other corporals, Kavanaugh. I was talking to the other corporals, and they all agree with me, and that's why I'm talking to you right now. And I said, well, that's bullshit, isn't it? Because I talked to them this morning. Why am I talking like this? I talked to them this morning. They all agree with me. So thanks for the coffee. If you want to go back to the detachment, have a conversation with them. If I haven't convinced you, if you think I'm lying, then we'll talk again about it later. He never talked to me about it, of course, because his logic was stupid. I've lost my train of thought. I told you the most boring story ever. It was about corporals. I don't have the answers on how to do the process. Easy. I don't have the answers on how you promote somebody. I don't know. I have no clue. But the RCMP process, holy shit, Tyson. Like, my God, man, eh? I spent I don't even know, 100 hours on my resume. I left like, fuck. A job came up. A job came up in Mission. It was the watch commander. I wanted to be watch commander. That was my goal. You can be a watch commander on the island everywhere, but you can't be one on the lower mainland. There's only one place that exists, and that's mission detachment. Back then. They've changed it now, but mission detachment, you can be watch commander. I was allowed to promote. I had 7 years on March 11th. And guess what happened on March 11th? That was the day. What comes before March? February 11th, the posting came out for Mission. It closed on March 11th. The day that I could actually apply to promote to corporal. Holy fuck, I remember this like yesterday. See, you got me talking about this. This is thank you. It's bringing back memories. Al Ramey. Great guy. Helps me out on my list. I did this. I went to Duncan. I pulled files because I thought in my head, which I think I'm right, I want every of my examples to say, when I was acting watch commander, I did this. When I was acting watch commander, we went to the 7-Eleven. We responded to, I did resources this way and that way. I told them to go here, there, and there. And I went to 7-Eleven and because we had a robbery at 7-Eleven, I dusted for fingerprints. I did all this in one night. We found the guys. I processed the inmate. I did the watch briefing or the watch report. And then we went to that call and that call. So I would come up with a crazy night while I was acting watch commander. I remember writing it, and Al Ramey went over every single thing that I wrote. Made it better. He was a big help. I remember what was that one? Conflict management? It's not conflict management, but knowledge of conflict something. That was a tough one for me. I had kind of an issue with the watch commander and we worked it out. So I used that as an example. And a lame example that I used was a kid breaks into a school and I do restorative justice with that kid. I got by on that one. Exhibits or knowledge of I can't even remember. It's funny when you retire. Knowledge of, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. But I did it on, I did an audit on exhibits and I don't know, a member had a VIR file, violence in relationships file, and they did an arrest and I bounced it back because they had to, because our VIR policy said they had to, so I used that as an example. And I can't remember the other ones, but it took me forever. It was hell. It was complete hell writing that, but it was good. I don't know, was it good? Yeah, I felt pretty satisfied. I felt pretty satisfied after I was finished it. And then I'm in mission. I'm corporal. I get what I want. I'm a watch commander. I come in guns a-blazing like an idiot. Don't ever do that, guys. Don't ever come into a place guns a-blazing. Just take it easy, okay? I'm in mission. I'm a corporal. I called up staffing. I said, I want to go back to my hometown where my mom and dad lived. They said, no, it's not going to happen for you. And I said, what about a no-cost transfer? They said, we don't do that anymore because da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And so I thought in my head, well, if I buy a place where I want to go, if I buy it, then I automatically become a no-cost transfer. And they kind of got to move me there if a position opens up. So that's what I do during paternity leave. I buy a place. I convinced my wife to rent out our house in Abbotsford. I go back and forth for a year and 2 months. I don't recommend doing that, by the way. Do not do that. But during this time, I write my resume again. I write it for a sergeant spot in Victoria. And I'm sorry, guys, but I don't totally remember, but I became top 7? Is that what it was? Top 7? Is it still like that? I don't know. But I became top 7 at West Shore. And I'm like, fuck. And I knew the guy. I used to work with Larry in Duncan. And I'm like, oh, I might get this job. I don't want to be a sergeant. I don't want to be a sergeant in West Shore. But it'll get me to the island. And then I find out that I'm going to where I want to go. And I pulled my resume out of there. Just in time. And I don't know. Maybe I should have kept it in there. I don't know. I don't know. Everything worked out, I guess. I don't know what to say. I'm not saying those other guys didn't deserve to be a corporal, but maybe just not a corporal on a watch, okay? Everybody deserves to be a corporal. You write that resume, if it's good enough, you deserve to be a corporal. But they shouldn't put it. Don't just go, GD. Who gives a shit? It's just GD. GD is the most important, guys. Everybody knows that, right? Don't treat GD like it's less than anything else. But some people that promote to corporal, don't necessarily, they shouldn't really go to a watch. You can't be a watch commander. You can't be a corporal on a watch if you can't do the job. But I'm not saying don't become a corporal. You could be a corporal anywhere else. You're better off being a corporal in street crimes than being a corporal on a watch. I guess that's my point. Tyson, thanks for the call. Please, you jogged my memory about something. And I like the name. Dad, I got a guy picking on me at school. What's his name, son? Tyson. Oh, you're fucked. His name's Tyson? Anyways, I gotta go. I'm gonna have a glass of wine with the woman upstairs.